Hey guys, I'm Sody here, back at doing another movie review, and today we'll be reviewing Captain America Civil War, or as I like to call it, Avengers 2.5, or because it's basically just an early Avengers movie, than a Captain America movie. But don't get me wrong, I still really love this movie. So, Captain America Civil War features is directed by the Russo brothers, Anthony Russo and Joe Russo. And it features Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., Daniel. Oh yeah, it features a really huge cast. I mean, so if you want to skip it, just skip 20 seconds or something. It features Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., Daniel Brühl, Sebastian Stan, Scarlett Johansson, Elizabeth Olsen, Chadwick Boseman, Anthony Mackie, Paul Bettany, Don Cheadle, Paul Rudd, Emily Van Camp, William Hurt, Jeremy Renner, and Tom Holland. So the plot of Captain America: Civil War is that it takes place 2 years after Captain. No, it takes. Yeah, 2 years after Captain America: The Winter Soldier, and a year after Avengers: Age of Ultron. So it is both the sequel to The Winter Soldier and Avengers: Age of Ultron. What else was I saying? And so since the events of Captain America: The Winter Soldier and Avengers: Age of Ultron, in the end of Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Bucky was starting to remember his memories. Like he was starting to get his memory back, cause like throughout all his years with being with Hydra, he's been a Hydra weapon and just been used to kill people for Hydra. But then by the end, and he had no memory of himself. Like he had no memory. Like all he was worried about is this is my mission. I have to complete it. But then by the end of Winter Soldier, he was starting to get his memories back, and so that's where it picks up, where Bucky is starting to remember everything now. Like the movie even like whenever when we first get introduced to Bucky, like he remembers everything now. Yeah. And so yeah, that's basically what's going on with him. But like he's trying to get used to society and present time. Yeah, he's trying to get used to present time now. Is there anything else about Bucky I should say? Anything else I'm missing about Bucky? Let me think. So yeah, and he's trying to hide from society too. Like he's trying to hide because like everyone knows who he is now that he's the Winter Soldier and all of that, and so he's trying to hide from them and all of that. Yeah, so that's basically what's happening with Bucky. And then we move on with the Avengers. Now all the Avengers are in this movie except for two of the Avengers, and that is Thor and Hulk. In case you're confused, like why they're not in this movie, watch Avengers: Age of Ultron, and then it literally tells you where they are in Thor Ragnarok, both Thor and Hulk. Yeah, and so yeah, but Hulk he ran away from Earth with the spaceship because he thought that Earth hated him and like he wanted to run away. Yeah, and so and then Thor just left Earth. Like he wasn't in this movie because like he was trying to look for the Infinity Stones himself. Like he was trying to look for the Infinity Stones, and he's been like fighting a bunch of people, and he's been doing all of that for 2 years straight. Yeah, so that's basically what's up with Thor. But I'll get more into that once I talk about Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, and so we follow with the Avengers. So, but in this specific movie, we follow with the Avengers, and like they're fighting these people in the beginning. They fight Crossbones, and then Crossbones was even willingly to destroy the whole city because like he had a whole bomb that would have literally destroyed the whole city and himself. Like he wanted to kill himself and the Avengers with him and everyone else. But before he can do that, Wanda stops him, and then she raises him on a building, and that basically explodes the whole building. And so from there, the Avengers are very traumatized by that they killed a bunch of people in that building. And from there, they show you like all the dramas that the Avengers have been causing. Like the Avengers have been saving the world too, but there's also been a lot of side effects and consequences to all the stuff they do to save the world. Because when they save the world, they can't save everybody. Like they can't save everybody. They can save most people, but not everybody. Because there is always some bad shit going on when they save the world. Like there's always people getting killed and all of that. And yeah, the Avengers doesn't just cause like save isn't doesn't just save the world. It can also they can also do some bad shit too. Yeah, so that's basically what's up with the Avengers. Like the Avengers, like they're like it shows you that there really is gonna be side effects if you like just like a raise up a whole city and explode it. There will be side effects of that, and there will be side effects if you drop all of Shield's technology and their spaceships onto the river. And, like there will be side effects because when it shows that when they drop them, like it causes a tiny tsunami on the people, and most die. yeah, from the events of the Winter Soldier. What was I saying? What else was I saying? So yeah, that's basically what's up with the Avengers. Is like they're very dramatized about a lot of stuff that's been happening. Is there anything else I should say about them? Let me think. So yeah, that's basically what the Avengers is up to. But Captain America. But later on in the movie, we meet up with this dude named T'Challa, or as he is known as the Black Panther. So T'Challa, one day when he's doing a meeting with like a business meeting, with T'Challa and his father are doing a business meeting because yeah, but they're so one day when they're doing a business meeting, a bomb goes off. Like the bomb goes off and it kills T'Chaka. And so T'Challa is all sad about it. Like he's so sad that his father died. And so from there, the whole world thinks that it was Bucky that killed T'Chaka. And so from there, that's been making Black Panther go after Bucky for revenge. Yeah. And then from there, Captain America he ends up finding Bucky, and so yeah. And then once he finds Bucky, they end up fighting in this. Black Panther's there too, and they end up fighting in the city and all this stuff. And then they end up jailing Bucky, but only for a little bit, because then we meet up with our main villain of this movie. Before I talk about what else goes around when they jail Bucky, I just want to talk about the main villain to this movie. Sorry, just got a little bit of stuff in my lips. Let's talk about the villain now. His name is Helmut Zemo. Helmut Zemo, I thought he was a really evil villain actually. Like he's a really evil villain in this movie. What he wants is he does not want to kill the Avengers at all. He does not want to kill the Avengers, but he hates the Avengers so much because he was a citizen in Sokovia. Like he was one of the people in Sokovia that witnessed the events the end of Avengers Age of Ultron. So he was a part of that city. Like he was a part of everything that was going around. But while that all that was happening, like all that in Sokovia was happening, his whole family ended up dying. Like he was once a regular man with a good family and all of that. But his whole family, like literally his wife, his kids, even his parents died in Sokovia. And so he blames the Avengers for that. So yeah, he literally hates the Avengers for that, and his plan is not just to kill them, but for the Avengers to kill each other, because like, so many people have already tried to kill the Avengers in the past, but if he gets the Avengers to kill each other, yeah, so that's basically his whole plan in this movie is to have the Avengers turn on each other and to kill each other, and so he's using Bucky mostly for that, because like Bucky, with his past and all that, he has some really dark past for what he did that can make the Avengers turn on each other. And Bucky himself can, like Bucky as a weapon of Hydra, like he like literally just by saying he's a weapon of Hydra, he should be jailed for all of life. And so the Avengers think that too, but the only one that doesn't think that is Captain America, and that's it. Yeah, but I really like that whole part of the story. And so Helmut Zemo, he's trying to use Bucky as a weapon to turn on one another. So yeah, that's basically his plan is to just to control Bucky and to have the Avengers turn on one another. Yeah. Let me think. Is there anything else I should say? So yeah, but while all this is happening, Captain America is trying to defend Bucky and trying to like defend him from the Avengers and all of that. And so yeah, okay, I'm not saying any more after that because if I say more after that, then I'll literally spoil a lot of this movie. So that's all I'm gonna say. The Avengers turn on each other. Captain America's defending Bucky. Yeah, that's the whole plot of it. Because I don't want to like spoil more stuff if you haven't seen this movie. But I mean, I will later on, but I'll let you know when I'm about to spoil stuff. Okay. Let me think. Is there anything else? Yeah, that's the whole plot. Now, do I like Captain America Civil War? Yes, I love Captain America Civil War. This movie is so badass. I love this movie so much. It is so awesome. Like, literally, from start to finish, it is so awesome. Like, I love this movie so much. Like, this is definitely one of the more stronger MCU movies, I would say. I would definitely have this on top 5. Not even top 5, top 4, actually. I love this movie so much. Like, it is so good. Like, it is awesome. It is so badass. Yeah, it is amazing. Okay, but before I get into the characters and everything, I just want to say that I definitely think this is the best out of the Captain America trilogy. I honestly think that the Captain America trilogy is the only trilogy in the MCU that just improves more and more as the movies go along in the trilogy. Cause I don't think any of the other MCU trilogies like improve more and more from the first and to like continuing on. Yeah, this is the only one that I feel does that. Cause like I think Captain America was the first Avenger. It was a pretty good movie actually, but then Captain America: The Winter Soldier improved on that movie and it became awesome. Like Captain America: The Winter Soldier, I just thought was amazing. And then we get to Captain America: Civil War, which I thought became the masterpiece of the Captain America trilogy, which I thought became the magnum opus. Yeah, and so yeah, I thought that's how amazing the Captain America trilogy is. I honestly think that the Captain America trilogy is definitely my favorite trilogy in the whole MCU actually, because like let me go through most of the other trilogies to show you that they don't improve. Iron Man 1 was a good movie. Iron Man 2 fucking sucked balls. Iron Man 3 was okay. Um, Thor 1 was a good movie. Thor 2 was good, but it was not better than the first one. Thor 3, I would say was amazing actually. Like I thought it was the best out of the trilogy, but it did the whole trilogy didn't improve though, cuz Thor 2 definitely ruined that whole aspect. And then I didn't think wait, is there any other trilogies before I continue on? I didn't think Avengers 2 was better than the first one. Like, Avengers 2 did not beat the first one at all. Like, literally. But then, Infinity War and Endgame, okay, that'll be a whole different story once I get there. Let me think. So yeah, that's basically the whole trilogy. I definitely think this one is the only one where it improves. Well, let me think. Is there any other trilogy? Well, Spider-Man's starting to do that, but I don't. But we'll have to see what Spider-Man 3 comes along, and I'll have if Spider-Man 3 does beat Spider-Man Far From Home, I'll have to think if it's. I'll have to think once or twice, okay? But I don't think it's gonna do that actually. Like I don't think Spider-Man 3, but never say never, okay? But I don't know. Like I don't know what they're gonna do with Spider-Man 3, to be honest. I know there's gonna be a Spider-Verse and all of that, but it's not for sure yet. It's rumored. Um, oh yeah, but just so you guys know, I will not include this. I will not review the Spider-Man movies in this series of MCU movie reviews that I'm doing right now. I will not include the Spider-Man movies on reviewing the MC when I'm reviewing all the MCU movies. I'm not gonna review them. I mean, I would really like to review them, but my decision is to wait before Spider-Man 3 comes out. Like before Spider-Man 3 comes out, I want to review all the Spider-Man movies with Spider-Man Homecoming and Far From Home from there. So I'm not going to include them with this reviewing of the MCU movies. So yeah, I'm not going to review the Spider-Man movies just yet. Um, Let me think. Is there anything else I should say? Okay, now back to Captain America: Civil War. I thought let me just say I also thought the action and the effects and the stunt work improved a lot more than Winter Soldier actually. I not to say no, Winter Soldier had some really cool stunt work and action. Like all the action was so amazing, but I thought Civil War improved even more with it. And I thought it was amazing with the action sequences in this movie. They were all so fucking awesome. Like literally, all the action was so good, and and let's just say the stunt work. Wow, I love the stunt work to this movie. Like the stunt work is so amazing. Like the stunt work, like you literally with the stunt work, you believe that these are Avengers fighting each other, and the movie stunt work is just astounding. Like literally, like it is mind blowing, and literally even the stunt work, like the stunt work makes your mouth drop at times. Like it literally makes your jaw drop to the floor at times with the stunt work. So yeah, the stunt work was just fucking awesome. Yeah. And another thing I really love about this movie is, let me think. Oh yeah, another thing I really love about this movie is like this movie tells a lot of story with action sequences besides dialogue. Like this movie tells a lot of storytelling with dialogue too, but also with action sequences too, which is what makes it even more cooler. So yeah, I thought that all of that is just really cool to make the storytelling be told with action. So yeah, that's just amazing right there. Well, let me think. Is there anything else I should say about Civil War? before I get to the characters. Let me think. So yeah, action 10 out of 10. Yeah. So let's talk about the characters now in Civil War. I thought all the characters were really good. The best the best comic book movies are the ones where you get where all the characters are coming from, and with all these characters you literally get where they're all coming from. Like you get where Captain America's coming from doing all his shit. You get where Iron Man's coming from doing all his shit. Yeah, you get where everyone is coming from. You get where Bucky's coming from. You get where Black Panther's coming from. You get where everyone's coming from, and that is what makes it really cool too. Is there anything else I should say? So yeah, I thought that was really cool. Is there anything else I should say? Let me think about the characters. Let me think. So yeah. It's not my before I go any further, I just want to say it's not. I know I'm saying I love this movie so much, but it's not my favorite MCU movie. But it's definitely somewhere close. And just so you guys know, I do like the first Avengers just a hair more than this movie. Only just a hair more, because I thought the first Avengers was a bit more enjoyable and it was a bit more funner than this movie. But not to say this movie isn't fun. It's so much fun. But I find the first Avengers just to be a bit funner. Yeah, but it's just I only just like the first Avengers just a hair more than this movie. Okay, let's get on to Captain America, the character of Captain America. I thought he was really, really cool in this movie. I'm pretty sure in this movie, he is literally the greatest he's ever been as Captain America. He is so cool in this movie. Like, he is so dope in this movie. I love how he's always defending his long best friend since the 1940s, and he's trying to see where he's coming from and all of that, and he's starting to appreciate his friend more and more since he has his memory back, and he's starting to be not as much friends as he was to him in the 1940s. I mean, actually, yeah, he is as much as friends as he was to him in the 1940s, even more actually in this movie. So yeah, I really like how his relationship with Bucky is just growing more and more in this movie, and they had such a strong friendship in this movie. Like Bucky and Captain literally had a very, very strong relationship in this movie, and you really buy their friendship in this movie so much, and yeah, and I really like that so much. So yeah, and I really like how Captain America is willing to trust Bucky. Like no matter what he does, he's still willing to trust Bucky. What was I thinking? Oh yeah, he's still willing to trust Bucky, and I really like that a lot about him. Like no matter what he does, he's still his friend. Like no matter if he kills all these people, if no matter if he's gonna kill his friends, like he still likes him. Like he's just like, you're still my friend. It wasn't you that actually did all of that. Like you didn't kill all those people. It wasn't really you. So yeah, I really love that a lot about him. Is he still loves his friend no matter what he does. Yeah. Let me think. Is there anything else about Captain I should say? Oh yeah, and I really liked his little love relationship with Sharon Carter, Peggy's niece. Yeah, I really liked his love relationship with her, and I really liked that scene where they kissed each other, and then he turns around and then Bucky and Falcon are laughing in the car about that. Yeah, I thought that scene was pretty funny. Let me think. Is there anything else about Cap I should say? I think that's it about Cap. So yeah, Cap, he was a badass in this movie. So yeah, and Cap, he will always be my favorite Avenger out of all of them. I love Cap so much. So yeah, now let's get on to Iron Man. Iron Man in this movie, I thought he was really, really cool in this movie too, actually. Like, I can totes get where he's coming from with all this stuff. But the one thing I hate about him in this movie is that he towards the end, okay, from here is where I'm going to revolve spoilers, okay? So if you haven't seen this movie, please leave this a review. But if you have seen this movie, you can stay if you want. So yeah, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen this movie already. Like, I'm pretty sure most of you have seen this movie already. It's one of the more popular MCU movies. Let me think. Is there anything else I should say about Iron? Oh yeah, about Iron Man. What I don't like about him was that towards the end, he literally jails all of Captain America's team. Like he literally gels them, and that was the part where I did not like Iron Man at all. So yeah, I don't like him. I didn't like when he did that at all. But I really liked his whole character development in this movie. I really like how. Oh yeah, I really like that scene in the beginning where he shows how he would rewrite his last moments of seeing his parents. I thought that scene was pretty emotional actually. Like I actually did feel a bit emotional in that scene. Yeah. And I really liked I really liked how he feels a lot of regret for killing all those for like accidentally killing all the people with all the wars they've had. Oh yeah, and I really like that whole thing with the African American kid from Sokovia who died in there. Oh yeah, I really like that whole part of the story in the beginning where the mom of the kid, she comes in and she's all mad at Captain America and all that, and she's like, well, I blame you for my son's death. And then Captain America, in a he explains to the Avengers who the kid was. He was like a regular kid. He was a smart kid. He was gonna go to college and all of that. But then he died. And so yeah, and I actually felt really bad for that kid actually. Like that kid, I felt really bad for him actually. That he died. He had to die in Sokovia. Yeah, I really like that whole part of him. That whole scene in the movie. Is there anything else I should say about Iron Man? Let me think. And I also really liked how he was really Oh yeah, before I talk more about him, I really like that scene in the beginning where after he shows his how he would rewrite his last moments with his parents. I really liked how in that scene, Juliana Gill is in that scene. She makes like a little cameo in it. Juliana Gill, just so you guys may know, she's one of my celebrity crushes actually. So she's on my top 10 celebrity crushes. And I really like when she makes a little cameo in the movie where not much of a cameo, but more of just like a background character. Yeah, I really like how she does that in the movie, where like she just gives Stark his worksheet and all of that, and like all the stuff he needs to complete. So yeah, I really like that part with her. Yeah, and I just thought that was really cool how they put her in this movie. Let me think. Is there anything else I should say about Iron Man? Oh yeah, I really liked how he was willing to jail, like he really wants to jail Bucky for like all his crimes and all of that. And yeah, I really liked that a lot about him. And I really liked how the event how because like in Avengers Age of Ultron, we don't really see as a human how he was after the events of Iron Man 3. But in this movie we see how he is after the events of Iron Man 3. I really like the scene where he tells Captain America about Pepper, where Pepper is still that fire thing that she became. The fire thing from Iron Man 3. Yeah, and he's still trying to find a cure for that, and he's really stressed out about it. And then he's even thinking of having kids with her. So yeah, I really like that scene where he says that about Captain. Let me think. Is there anything else I should say about Iron Man? Let me think. And I think all the scenes with Iron Man in action were just fucking awesome, actually. I really liked all the scenes with him. And I really, really liked that scene with him in the end. Okay, I'll get more into that later on, though. I won't get into that just now, but I really liked that scene in the end. I'll get into that later on. So, yeah, Iron Man, he was really cool in this movie. Now let's talk about. So yeah, the villain in this movie. Not much to say about him, but he was an amazing villain. I already said all about him. Like his whole side of the story, I thought was very dark. Like his plan, I just thought was very very dark. Like one of the more darker villain plans in the MCU. So yeah, I really liked him a lot. But my one criticism about him is I just wish he could have had maybe a bit more screen time in the movie. But from all the characters that are in this movie, I thought he was good for all the scenes he was in, but mostly due to all the characters. Like I can definitely see why he didn't have as much screen time. Yeah, but he was still an amazing villain to this movie. Let me think. So yeah, and I really liked how he doesn't fight him with his hands and all that. Like he never fights them with punching and all of that. Like he fights them with Bucky. He fights them on the inside. Like he fights them on the inside, and he has them fight each other. So yeah, I really like that a lot about him. Let me think. Is there anything else I should say about him? Let me think. So yeah, he was really cool, and I really, really liked Bucky in this movie. I really liked Bucky. He was awesome. I would definitely say Bucky is one of my favorite MCU heroes actually slash villain too. So yeah, I really loved Bucky in this movie. He was such a badass in this movie. I love all the scenes where he's fighting with his metal arm. I love his relationship with Captain, like I said before. I really liked how he's trying to get used to society and all of that, he's like and I really like how he himself even believes like he should sort of be held for his crimes, but not really though, cause like he there's this one scene where he's like, Captain, I know it wasn't really me that did that, but I still did it. Yeah, I really like that scene a lot. Let me think. But it wasn't entirely his fault. Like I'm on Bucky's side. Like I'm Team Captain America actually. Like I'm Team Captain America. What makes it cool? But this movie it doesn't really have Team Captain America or Team Iron Man because you get where they're coming from. So it's not really important who you go for in this movie. Like it doesn't really matter actually. Yeah. But I know it doesn't matter. But Team Captain America. Okay. But it wasn't entirely Bucky's fault. Like Bucky, it wasn't entirely his fault. Like I'm sick of all the people who keep saying it's his fault. Like it's all his fault. It wasn't entirely his fault. Hydra had control of his whole mind and his whole conscience that he wasn't even aware of all the shit he was doing and all of that. So yeah, but it wasn't entirely his fault. It was just his body's fault. It was Hydra's fault. Yeah, it wasn't entirely his fault. I still really love Bucky. So yeah, and I really like how Bucky in this movie, like he wants to do good in this movie. Actually, like he can do anything to do good in this movie. Actually, like I love how he's trying to do good in this movie that he hasn't done good since the 1940s, and I love how he's trying to do that again. So yeah, I really love that a lot about him. Is there anything else about Bucky I should say? Let me think. So yeah, Bucky, yeah, he was really cool in this movie. Now let's get to Black Widow. Black Widow, I thought she nailed it in this movie. Actually, I loved Black Widow in this movie. She didn't have a huge character in this movie, but she was still a really cool character. Like I really liked how she was helping Captain America at times, but then she helps Iron Man. Like, and I really liked her a lot. But Scarlett Johansson, she's always hot for all the movies she's in. She's always such a baddie in all her movies. So yeah, she's never a bad character in all her movies. Like I love her in this movie. Like she's never bad. She's a baddie though. Yeah. Let me think. Is there anything else I should say about Black Widow? So yeah, Black Widow, she nailed it. Yeah. Now let's get to Wanda. I really liked Wanda in this movie. I thought she was even better in this movie than she was in Avengers: Age of Ultron. So yeah, I really liked how she feels very traumatized and scared that she feels very traumatized and scared that she killed all those people in the building, and she feels like she's the one to blame herself, which she kind of is. Yeah, but I really like how she's just staying in Avengers Mansion, like she's trying to stay out of society. She's trying to lay low for a while because like society's kind of scared of her now. So yeah, and I really like that whole part with her, and I really like the scene where she's cooking food with Vision and all of that. So yeah. And I really like the scene where she knocks Vision down to the ground, where she literally uses her power to knock him like way down to the ground, and she's like, I can't control their fear, only my own. And I thought that was such a badass line. I love that line so much, and I love from there that she was willing to help out Captain America. So yeah. Let me think. Oh yeah, and I really liked Captain America and Bucky's plan, how they were trying to go to the snow place, because Bucky was saying, like, he wasn't the only Winter Soldier and all this stuff, that there are more, and so they were trying to go to the snow place and see what all that was about. So yeah, so yeah, and he's trying to, like, follow Bucky's plan and all of that, because, yeah. And so there's a whole team of Captain America and for Iron Man to jail Bucky, and then there's a team of Bucky to try to join them and go to the snow with them and see what everything's all about. And yeah, let me think. Is there anything else I should say about Wanda? So yeah, I really dug Wanda, and I really liked how she was starting to fall in love with Vision a lot. Like she was starting to fall in love with Vision slowly and slowly. Like she was starting to fall in love with him. So yeah, I really liked that a lot about her. And yeah, so she was such a badass in the airport scene. So yeah, she was really cool. Let me think. So yeah, now let's get to Black Panther in this movie. I thought he was awesome in this movie. I thought this was the perfect introduction for Black Panther. Like, Black Panther first gets introduced in this movie, and he first got introduced so perfectly in this movie. I really liked his plan, how he wants to go after Bucky for revenge because he thinks he killed his father. Yeah, I really like that a lot about him. And he has some really badass lines. I really like the scene where he's like, where Captain's in his way to try to fight, because he's trying to fight Bucky, and then he's like, move, Captain. I won't ask a second time. So yeah, I thought all his line delivery was so badass. And yeah, he was just so cool in this movie. Yeah. Let me think. And I really liked how in the end he kind of in the background like secretly tries to see what Captain America is up to in the snow place. So yeah, I really liked that whole scene with him. But I'll get into that more later on. Let's talk about Falcon. Falcon didn't have any character development in this movie, but I thought he was good. I thought he was awesome. Yeah, I liked Falcon. And I really like the scene in the beginning where he's trying to help out, where he's like fighting the people in the beginning, and then he saves what's her name, Black Widow, and then she's like, thanks Sam, and then he's like, no, don't thank me, because like there's something that comes out of his wings that kind of helps him, that kind of helps them out too, and then he's like, don't thank me, thank him, and she's like, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna thank that thing. So yeah, I thought that scene was funny. So yeah, and I thought, yeah, so Falcon, he was really cool. Let me think. And I really liked Vision too. I thought Vision nailed it in this movie. I thought he was even more cooler in this movie than he was in Ultron. Yeah, he was really cool in this movie. I really liked that scene where I really liked how he can go through rooms and all of that. I really liked that scene where he goes through the room where Captain and Wanda are talking. Then he's like, and then they're like, Vision, how many times have we told you to take the door? And he's like, well, the door was open, so I just assumed. Okay, I'll just take the door. Yeah, I thought that scene was funny. Let me think. Is there anything else I should say about Vision? So yeah, I thought Vision was really cool in this movie. I thought and I really liked how he was falling in love with Wanda too, and I really liked how he doesn't really know much about himself, but he doesn't really know much about the stone on his head. All he knows is that it just came from Loki's staff. Yeah. Is there anything else about Vision I should say? Let me think. Anything else about Vision? Oh yeah, and I really liked how he was Team Team Iron Man. So yeah, and I really liked the scene where he tries to stop Captain America, and then with his stone, and he's like, Captain Rogers, I know what you believe you're doing is right, but for the great of humanity, you must surrender now. So yeah, I really liked that scene with him. So yeah, Vision, he was cool in this movie, and yeah, and I really liked War Machine in this movie too. Not any character development at all, but he was still cool. I liked all the scenes with him in action. I liked the scene where Vision accidentally like takes out his heart piece, like destroys his heart piece, and then he falls from the sky to the ground. Yeah. So yeah, he was good. And I liked how him and Iron Man were teaming up when they were fighting with the people. So yeah, I thought that scene was cool. Now let's get to Ant-Man. I loved how they brought Ant-Man in this movie. And I really like how they brought Ant-Man in this movie. He nailed it in this movie, actually. Like, he totally nailed it in this movie. I loved Ant-Man. Yeah, I love how they still made him exactly the same as he was in the movie. They did not change him at all. He was still exactly the same. He was funny and wise. Yeah, I really liked how they still kept that. So yeah, and I really like all the scenes where he's in action. So yeah, and I really like the scene where he turns big, and he grabs onto War Machine, and then he's willing to defend Captain America and everyone else while he's big. So yeah, I really like that a lot about him. So yeah, that was really cool about Ant-Man. And I really liked. Oh yeah, let me just tell you guys, there is literally one character out of the whole MCU where I just tend to hate with all my heart. One character that I tend to hate with all my fucking heart. That I do not like him at all. For every scene he's in, every screen time he's in, every second he's in, I do not like him. And that is the Colonel. The old soldier dude, the old soldier dude in this movie that was in charge of jailing Captain America's team and all of that. He's the only character that I hate in this movie. I hate him with a fucking passion. Like, literally, he is so annoying. I do not like him at all. Like, he shouldn't have been in this movie at all. He should have been a completely different character. I did not like him at all. Like, and I totally hate how he was the one in charge of jailing Captain America's team members. I hated him so much. So yeah, I just didn't like him in this movie. He's the only character that I tended to hate. Is there anything else I should say about him? So yeah, I don't like him. Now let's talk about Hawkeye in this movie. Now Hawkeye, I didn't really feel like he was necessary in this movie, actually. Like, he was not necessary at all. Like, literally at all. Like, he was not necessary to this movie. Like, I just felt like he was just thrown in there, actually. Like, I just felt like Hawkeye was just thrown in there just to be Hawkeye. Like, I didn't really feel like he really started much of a purpose in this movie. But I thought he was cool for this. But I thought he was okay in this movie. I thought he was okay in all the action sequences he's in. I thought he was okay. Yeah, but